Look what I made today. Spaghetti and meatballs. And I'm going to show you how I made it. Come, let's go. Okay, so let's get started on the meatballs. So what I like to try to do first is grab some breadcrumbs that are plain breadcrumbs, about a third cup of that. Add that to a bowl. Oh, this is not plain. Okay, we're going to start that again because that one has some seasoning in it and I want it to be plain. So I'm just going to do it myself. These are dried pieces of bread that I got from our local bakery. I'm going to grind 1/3 cup. So I'm going to grind up probably maybe like that much. Maybe that'll give us 1/3 of a cup. This is like my magic bullet, and I will be right back. Okay, I have this much. That should be enough. Okay, that's plenty enough. Okay, we're going to add that into this bowl. I'm going to add 1/2 cup of milk. I just have this kind here, skim milk. That's just what I have in my fridge. And you're just going to add that to the breadcrumbs. And we're going to let it sit until it becomes like thick and like pasty. Well, it's a bit more than pasty, but oh, there's a couple of big pieces in there. This is why I like buying it from the store that's already there. Anyway, it will thicken up. Leave this for about 10 minutes. Let it absorb. And then while this is happening, we're going to mix up all of the ingredients in the for the meatballs. So in a larger bowl, ground pork, and I have lean ground beef. You can use whatever ground beef you want. Okay, grab that. The two of them together bring such a wonderful flavor. I know some people probably make their meatballs just with ground beef, but I really like it with the pork and the beef. I think it's a little bit more authentic as well. I think sometimes people use sausage, but I like ground pork. Before I mix up the meat for the meatballs, I'm going to be frying up the onions because we're going to be adding these onions to the meatballs. I'm going to add the onion to my little chopper here. Cook the onions, caramelize the onions, like saute them, I guess you could say. Adding 1 whole onion. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to put this in the plate and I'm going to bring you over to my stove and we're going to start cooking this. Okay, so I'm going to start adding a little bit of oil to the frying pan. While they're cooking, we will go back and mix up the meat because we're going to be adding this into the meat once it's all mixed up. So I'll just start it now, I guess. And I'll show you what it looks like after. 4 cloves of garlic. There, just to make it a little bit easier to cut too. I'll probably just add them like this. Now we're going to mince that up. You really have to put like some strength in this with your thumb. So this is perfect. I'm going to just set that to the side. Mix the meat together. Just kind of like this much of fresh parsley if you have it. Instead of chopping it myself, I'll just use this. Nope, it's just spinning. So I will chop it up. Okay, just one sec. I seem to be having some trouble with these meatballs today. Okay, so we're just going to chop this up in little various tiny fine pieces, just like this. We don't want too big of pieces because it's going into the meatballs themselves, right? This is very different content that I'm used to making. I cook a lot of very different foods, but our main focus today is the meatballs themselves. I'm going to add that to the meat. Add the garlic. We're going to add 2 large eggs. Salt and pepper to taste. I usually just kind of sprinkle the pepper on top like that. Salt as well. I usually don't put a lot. Just maybe like that much. See? So I'm just going to let them sit and cool off a little bit. before I put them in the meatballs. Well, the meat. So these are probably about like 1 teaspoon each. So I'd say a teaspoon of this Italian herb seasoning. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of the Parmesan. Now, if you have fresh Parmesan, you can definitely use that. I'm just doing this for convenience. I don't have the fresh one right now. Most people have this anyway, so we're going to add 2 tablespoons of that in here. And just so you know, the salt and pepper content, it's like 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper. So now we're going to add this. Remember I was telling you it's going to thicken up? This is what we're looking for. So don't be alarmed when you see it's kind of like a thick paste. Don't be alarmed about that because that's what we're looking for anyways. That's what's going to give it the moisture. It's going to keep the moisture in the meatballs. Now, normally people will fry meatballs and then put them in their sauce, but I'm actually putting them in the oven. And then now we're going to be adding with the oil. This was probably about 2 tablespoons of oil, the onions to the mixture. As a kid, when I grew up in Toronto, if you don't know that, and as a child, pre-high school, I grew up in a predominantly Italian neighborhood, and there was a bakery near my house called Camiso Bros. And every time we used to go to clubs, like this is later in life, of course, not before high school, we would stop by and eat Italian food. I think, to be honest, the start of me loving food really was Italian food. I'm not going to dig deep into this one, but my very first boyfriend was Italian, and his mom was an amazing cook, phenomenal cook. Everything was from scratch, and I used to eat there often, and I used to be kind of like her taste tester kind of thing. And I have very fond memories of her. She was a wonderful lady. So I think my love for food really comes from Italian food to start. And it just, expanded to different cultural foods, of course. But that was pretty much like um, my first open to delicious food. I think when you try them, you will love them too. While using wet hands, I'm going to let it drip there because I'm going to keep wetting my hands. We're going to grab the meatballs, small, big, whatever size you want them. And you're just going to, I have them about this size. And that's all we just keep doing, keep grabbing from the bowl and make some. If you don't want to use them all, you can just freeze them. Okay, so I made this many meatballs and I'm going to add it to the oven. I'm going to have those meatballs in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. And while that is cooking, I'm going to start with the sauce. I have a little bit of meat left over, so I'm going to add this to my pot and use this as the like ground beef part of my sauce so that it kind of incorporates all the flavors in it. I'm also going to be adding 1 can of diced tomatoes. I like the herb and spices flavor, but you can just get whatever you want. I also like to use, now you can use any that you like. I have this one here, which is the fire roasted tomato and garlic. And I have also the 4-cheese one. You can use whatever favorite sauce you like. But those are the ones that I'm working with today. To add that there. And we're just going to like separate it into like little pieces. Okay, so it is ready, as you can see here. The tomatoes to them first. So we're just going to add it like that. Now, if you don't want it chunky like that, you can always get the stewed tomatoes. I just like it a little bit chunky like that. But it's all really about preference. Like popping in it. Hey! I would say cook this down for like 10 minutes at least. Just to have all of the flavors start kind of infusing together. And then we'll add the other tomato sauces to the dish. So 10 minutes has passed. And now I'm going to add these sauces. That's 2. Make sure that it makes that noise because if it doesn't, that means it's not sealed and it could be bad. Now I like to put a little bit of sugar. Just grab like a pinch, just enough to do that. Oh, yummy. Okay, so the meatballs are done, but I'm going to start adding some salt to some water and a little bit of oil because I'm going to be cooking my pasta. I don't have spaghetti noodles. I only have fettuccine noodles right now. So that's what I'm using. Here they are. Okay, I'm going to cut one open just to show you. I'm going to show you how soft they are. Like, look how juicy. So they are fully cooked through, and I'm going to taste it. It's going to be hot though. Mmm. Ooh, hot. Okay, I'm just going to grab them now and put them directly into the sauce. I've been making these meatballs like this for, I don't know, maybe like 10 years, if not more. And they are definitely a family favorite. When I told my son I was making these, he was like, "Oh, I love your spaghetti meatballs." So now we're just going to mix that up, incorporate the meatballs into the sauce, and then we're going to let that simmer probably another 10-15 minutes, and it should be all good. Doesn't that look amazing? You can add whatever pastas you want. I really like rigatoni, but I only have fettuccine today. So that's what we're working with. Be back in a minute. I put my pasta in. I did not cut it. That's blasphemy. I'm going to let this cook. Normally, people cook it al dente. I'm not a fan of al dente. I like my pasta a little bit softer. So you cook it the way you want to. I will cook it the way we want to. And I want to show you, I'll just put that here for now. It's all done. And I'm going to show you a little closer. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love spaghetti meatballs. It's been cooking. I'm pretty sure it's going to be good enough. I did test it one time to make sure, and it was a little bit, it was actually al dente when I did taste it. So I'm going to taste this piece now. Perfect. Okay. Putting the pasta into the pot after I've strained it. And I like to add some butter to my pasta and mix it up. You don't have to do this. This is just the way I like to do it. It gives it kind of like a creaminess to it too. I'm going to add a little bit of sauce to this pasta as well, because I don't like white pasta. Like, I don't like it when it's like white and then you just put some sauce on it. I don't like that. So I like to kind of cook the pasta a little bit with some sauce. Gives the pasta a little bit of flavor. If you don't want to do this, you can omit this step. I like it like this. And then now the pasta is ready, and I'm going to plate it. Pasta. Some of the sauce. Add a couple of meatballs. Parmesan cheese. And voila, it is finished. Okay, so let's dig in. Perfect. Here we go. Oh, it's delicious. I've been craving this for a while. This is why I made it. You're going to love this one.